Good evening, my name is Kacper Paradowski and you are watching Poland Daily News. Warsaw Law and Justice councillors decided to check the credibility of Rafał Trzaskowski and applied for restoring the street to the memory of late President Lech Kaczyński. In response, Karolina Gałecka, the spokeswoman of the Warsaw City Hall, announced that this matter will be on the agenda of the August session of the Warsaw Council.
We want to say I call and in this way help the Warsaw Mayor, Rafał Trzaskowski, to fulfill one of his election campaign promises. During his presidential campaign rallies, he referred several times to the heritage and lifetime achievements of the late President Lech Kaczyński, who died in the Smolensk air disaster in 2010. The Civic Coalition candidate repeatedly spoke of commemorating Professor Lech Kaczyński with naming a street after him. In connection with that, we introduced a motion with the City Council to name a street after him in the location where that street was already proclaimed and had functioned as such for some time and was imprinted in the minds of Warsaw residents. The Lech Kaczyński street replaced the People's Army Avenue, which served to praise the communist past times and as such should be declared illegal in the light of Institute of the National Remembrance Guidelines, as well as the decommunization regulations. Let me remind the public here that in the vote on the decommunization law, almost all MPs voted for. That act was adopted with votes of the Law and Justice Party as well as the Civic Platform Party. The People's Army was a military organization formed as a result of Stalin's order and played a fundamental role in the creation of the totalitarian communist system following the Second World War.
In today's issue, Dziennik Gazeta Prawna informed of the plans of the Law and Justice Party to divide the current Mazovia province into a separate Warsaw voivodeship, which would consist of the capital city and adjacent municipalities, and a Mazovian voivodeship consisting of the rest of Mazovia. The politicians of the Polish People's Party, who have been in power in this region for many years, protest strongly against these plans.
This theory that the division of the voivodeship will lead to a situation in which the poorer part will be able to apply for EU funds is not true, because this is already possible. On the other hand, the division of this province, which has a history of several hundred years, causes the breaking of interpersonal ties, communication ties and economic ties, which this province has created itself. There is no other reason except the political one. This is a political attack, because Law and Justice cannot fathom that this voivodeship has been managed by the Polish People's Party for 20 years.
On the 100th anniversary of the plebiscite in Warmia, Mazury and Powiśle, in which it was decided that a part of these lands belonged to Poland, the Sejm paid homage to the forgotten heroes of events from 100 years ago. A special resolution in this matter was adopted by acclamation.
Bardzo Państwa posłów proszę o powstanie.
I ask you to rise from your seats.
Uchwała Sejmu Rzeczypospolitej.
Resolution of the Sejm of the Republic of Poland on commemorating the 100th anniversary of the plebiscite in Warmia, Mazury and Powiśle. On July 11th, 2020, 100 years have passed since this plebiscite. Under the Treaty of Versailles of 1919, the inhabitants of Warmia, Mazury and Powiśle were to decide in a vote whether to join the regions to Poland or East Prussia. It was a difficult time for people openly admitting to Polishness. It was a time of great courage, struggling with discrimination. The campaign for Poland was led by patriots from the Mazovian People's Party and many other socio-political organizations who, already in the 19th century, fought for the right to use the Polish language and liberate local farmers from the power of German landowners. They led it under difficult circumstances, as the opposite side resorted to unfair methods, ranging from bribery to active violence. The efforts of the population did not bring success in 1920. However, the dream came true 25 years later, in 1945. On the 100th anniversary of the plebiscite in Warmia, Mazury and Powiśle, the Sejm of the Republic of Poland pays tribute to the forgotten heroes. Thank you very much.
A special exhibition commemorating the Polish victory over the Bolsheviks in the year 1920 has been opened at the Royal Castle in Warsaw. 100 years ago, the Polish army led by Józef Piłsudski stopped the Bolshevik Revolution from spreading to Europe in the famous Battle of Warsaw, which is considered to be one of the 20 most important battles in the history of the world.
The painting by Jan Henryk Rosen, entitled Poland, the Mother of Saints and Shield of Christians, painted in 1936, was presented today at the exhibition with the cross and sabre at the Royal Castle in Warsaw. The painting shows 11 important figures from Polish history.
Pierwszą osobą, którą możemy oglądać, to jest Jan Kanty.
This is Saint Jan Kanty. Next to him is Jan Kochanowski, then Cardinal Stanisław Leduchowski, Saint Joseph Atta, and Saint Stanisław Kostka. In the middle we have the panorama of the Wawel Hill, based on an image from the 17th century. Then we have the image of Father Ignacy Skorupka, held by a Polish soldier. Next to them there are two great commanders, King Jan III Sobieski and Józef Piłsudski, as well as a drama which gives a sort of melody to the entire piece. The painting was created using 3 crayons on cardboard, a technique which is characteristic for the 17th and 18th centuries. Jan Henryk Rosen used this technique to finish the work in a short time, as he was obliged to deliver it to the Vatican on short notice. The painting returned to Poland thanks to Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński.
Kardynał Stefan Wyszyński przywiózł ten obraz.
Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński brought this painting with him from Rome in unexplained circumstances. During the communist era in Poland, the episcopate had the privilege of having a train car, except from border control, once per year. Usually, the church used it to transport Bibles and other materials helpful in teaching religion. Cardinal Wyszyński must have taken the painting with him that way.
Nauczania religii było przydatne.
The exhibition is on display at the Royal Library of the Royal Castle in Warsaw until September 27th.
That's all for tonight. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for Poland Daily Business. Good night.